Well, now they have no ally in Yemen except for the Ahmar and Ahmar tribe. And Ahmar tribe, backed by, of course, the United States, Ali al-Ahmar now has no, I guess, power to overcome the situation. So they have to search for another leader who is not backed by the Saudis. The Yemenis, the days before, 1 week or after, they thought that the Saudis, and they really condemned the Saudi initiative and the Gulf initiative, because they could not enforce Ali Abdullah Saleh in order to accept it and resign, although they kept his dignity, and they probably promised not to sentence him or trial him and punish him for his atrocities against the Yemenis. So the Saudis and the Americans are creating this instability and will really create their enemy, and they will be the losers, and the Yemenis will be the winners after this. But it might take some time. But these 3 or 4 parties in the south, and Al-Qaeda in Zanzibar, and the Houthis, and the Ahmar tribe, and I guess they will finally come to terms in order to save their country.
Okay, let me turn back to the United States, get Mr. Talawi back in on this. Sir, how likely do you think it is that a deal has already been made between foreign governments and the future concerning Yemen?
Well, I don't doubt that what took place probably has some foreign deals already in it, as far as the attack on the presidential palace. I don't doubt that there was some foreign deals actually.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Talawi? Are you saying, let me just jump in here. Mr. Talawi, Mr. Talawi, can you hear me? Let me just jump in here. What do you mean by that? Do you think that foreign governments have been behind the attack on the palace?
I do believe that foreign governments, especially probably the United States, has probably given the green light to go ahead. Of course, we still don't know the facts behind it, but on a magnitude, an attack of this magnitude, I do believe that the United States, the CIA, and probably other governments are probably involved in it. Something like this is not going to happen unless there is a backup plan behind it. Now, I like to be optimistic as the guest from Beirut, but unfortunately, from the beginning on Press TV, I have maintained that the idea behind all what is going on in Yemen and other places is to sink the area into chaos, total chaos. And this thing about the tribes united and being a force against the United States, that's not going to happen. The United States is going to install the people who are, let's not forget that the United States was in this from the beginning. So the United States is working on this, and they're going to leave Yemen just for the united people of Yemen to have their own democratic country, and everybody will live happily ever after. That is a wishful thinking. Now, it doesn't have to go the way of the United States, but I don't see anything on the ground that tells me that after this thing, after the dust will settle down, that we're going to have a democratic country run by the people. No, I really do believe, and I'm sorry to say this, that I do believe that we're going to see some sort of civil war in Yemen. Yemen is not new or strange to civil war. We have seen what civil war has done in Yemen, and I really do believe what took place here, unless there are some forces in place already, we will be seeing chaos like we never seen before in Yemen. So I like to be optimistic like the guest in Beirut, but the facts on the ground and the history that we are looking at here and the country, the makeup of the country with the different tribes, I don't really see what he is talking about will be in anytime soon, and I don't see the United States being out of that area anytime soon either.
All right, turning back to London, Mr. Moustafa, what's your take on that? How do you see it?
Well, firstly, I beg to differ with my colleague in Beirut, in Lebanon, because he was quite unrealistic, really, to think that Yemen will be just have democracy within 24 hours if it keeps away from the United States and Saudi Arabia. And I think it's a very dangerous path to think that taking such steps or become hostile to the United States and Saudi Arabia will keep Yemen in peace. In the contrary, it will break Yemen further. As my colleague in the United States spoke, I agree with him 100% that Yemen is in virtually a state of civil war over the last 30-odd years, or probably longer actually. Yemen has never come out of civil war. What will happen now is actual break and going to a pre-state, what I could call it the 10th century type of tribal life. Each tribe will become alive, will be Somalization of Yemen. They're very close. It will be another Somalia where every tribe will claim leadership in a certain area of Yemen. So I think Yemen is passing through a very, very dangerous situation, and it cannot be underestimated, and the West have to play a huge role, because the president of Yemen did not really do anything. The current president, he did not do anything for the country. He was only thinking about his own survival and his clique around him. He's extremely corrupt man, and he's a very dangerous man too, and I'm glad he left the country. And I hope, and I'm maybe not realistic, I hope the army can do something similar to what happened in Egypt, and
well,
I
Mr.
repeat
Moustafa,
it again.
Almost out of time. Let me just jump back in here. What you just said, that you're hoping that the West plays the role in this now, because Saleh basically did nothing for his people all this time. However, the United States was the biggest supporter of Saleh all these years when he did not do anything for his people. So what do you think would make a difference now if the West would get involved?
Well, it was the fact of the matter on the ground. The United States have to deal with countries, so the West, as you know, they can't just go and depose the countries. The same, they supported Mubarak, this politics, real politic here, and now it was expected the things to happen 10 years' time. It happened now. It's real world of politics. We have to make the best fit for Yemen, and the best fit is to get the country together. The United States did not support Saleh as a person.
All right. Professor Saleh, we only have about a minute. I'll give you a chance to respond, because both the guests actually disagreed with your take.
Absolutely. I did not mention democracy. Yemen is not going to unite according to democratic laws or to American democracy, what the Americans are claiming. I guess the Yemenis are tired from getting into civil wars every 10 years or 13 years. And the Americans want that in order to weaken Yemen. They tried that in Lebanon. They tried that in Iraq. The Iraqis and the Lebanese, they came together and came to terms in order to unite their countries, and they finally have to sit on the table and say for each other, we can't kill each other more than that. That's why Hobbes and other philosophers talked about unity according to this term, this interest, not for the American interest or the Saudi interest. They have their own interest. They cannot attack each other, fire at each other, and bloodshed each other for a long time. I know that Yemen is familiar with this, but can they continue on this track? Can they continue to kill each other? And I guess this chaos, this total chaos, will inflict the Saudis in the same manner they will inflict Yemen. That's why I guess the Yemenis and even the Americans, and for the benefit of Yemen, they have to come to terms in order to reunite their country for their dignity and their independence.
Okay, unfortunately we are out of time. I'd like to thank Professor Mohsen Saleh, Lebanese University in Beirut, Mr. Wafik Moustafa from the Chairman Conservative Arab Network in London, and Lafayette, Louisiana, Mr. Hisham Talawi. Thank you all for being with us. That close-up look at this very fast-moving pace now situation in Yemen. Join us here same time, same place tomorrow, viewers, for another look at one of tomorrow's top headline stories. Well, I'm Marzieh Hashemi signing out for myself and all the crew right here in Tehran. Thank you so much, and goodbye.